Welcome back to another episode of All Things Everything presented by Gulf Coast Smoke. My name is Alonzo.
And I'm Sabrina.
And this is episode 32. So today we wanted to talk about our past weekend and some of the recipes that we filmed together and some of the things that people should be looking forward to on the channel in the upcoming weeks. So this past weekend we started. We tried to go to work. And that's going to be hopefully our new norm from here on out. When we're not at competitions, we're hopefully going to stay at the house and bust tail. So we started. Was it a rocky start? It was kind of a rocky start because, to be 100% honest, we did not do exactly what we wanted to do. So our goal originally was to cook what? Do you remember?
So we were going to cook beef ribs on the offset.
Yep.
Or the TMG. Other than that, we had also planned for cheesecake, Oreo cheesecake.
Yep.
And we had planned for smashed burgers.
Correct.
So we didn't quite get to filming, and we'll get through that. We didn't quite get to filming the beef ribs.
Mm-hmm.
So we filmed something else instead that I think is equally really, really great.
Yeah, no, for sure. If it wasn't so delicious and if it didn't turn out, I would say, perfect.
Perfect.
I mean, it was so good. I would obviously be pretty disappointed. But for the most part, if I'm being 100% honest, I'm not too disappointed that we missed filming the beef ribs on camera for the YouTube channel because, you know, so anyway, let's start on Friday. So we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. I didn't have to go to work those days. So on Friday, we woke up, had a pretty standard day, and we grinded up some brisket trim that we had left over from some barbecue competitions, and we made smash burgers. We made smash burgers on the Weber griddle, the Slate griddle, and I can honestly say they were just beyond delicious. Beyond delicious. So Chance and Danielle came over, so we ended up making the smash burgers with them here for they were here for a few hours. I mean, they were here for a while. We were hanging out in the backyard, and man, it was just a really good time. The smash burgers came out really, really delicious. So at that point, we were really focusing on the video. We made, I think, 6 different smash burgers. We made them, of course, the way I wanted them, the way you wanted them, Chance and Danielle. We had made the other burgers to add to the picture. We wanted to hopefully get a really good thumbnail, and that was really our goal. So we ended up obviously eating that, and then Sam and Nathan came over, and was Mason here that day?
Yes.
So Sam, Nathan, and their son came over. They were hanging out for a little bit. Then Raul dropped by. I made him and his wife a smash burger, and I can honestly say they were a hit. Everybody really seemed to enjoy them. So I know that they turned out delicious. And even though smash burgers is a really, really, really simple cook, it takes no time at all. That's kind of why those griddle cooks, especially with something that cooks so fast, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard because, I mean, how many times, and that's also why we made 6 burgers, because we were trying to get different angles, different shots. But, I mean, those smash burgers cook in, 3 minutes? Mm-hmm. I mean, if that, they're very, very fast because, obviously, you're smashing them pretty thin. Now, maybe an unpopular opinion here. I definitely love a smash burger, but I don't want that paper-thin patty. I feel like the way that we make them, I don't even know how thick they are, right? But they're not super, super thin, but we definitely still get an amazing crust on it, which creates that texture and then, of course, brings flavor. I think they're much better with at least a little bit of integrity on them. I mean, do you like something that's, I don't want to say a little thicker because they're definitely not thick, but I'm not into the paper thin ones. What about you?
No, so here's the thing. The patties we made were still thin. Because if someone's going
in the grand
base,
scheme of things, yes.
Yeah, if they're going off base like how you're describing it, they might be thinking in their head, "Oh, I guess it wasn't like a thin regular smash burger." It is. Mm-hmm. The thing is, when you go to a lot of restaurants that do smash burgers, they just smash it to absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you get too much of that hard crust and that sear on both sides of the patty.
Yeah.
So you're left with something that's just hard and crispy.
Yeah.
So our goal with it when we're making smash burgers is to make it thin, get that good surface contact on each side, but you still have that soft patty in the middle. And so let's also backtrack a little bit, because I think one of the biggest reasons these smash burgers were so good was because we grinded our own meat.
For sure.
If you've never grinded your own ground beef, and I was telling Danielle this, it's crazy just to feel the ground beef in your hand feels insanely different than how it feels bought from a grocery store.
No doubt.
Just that the texture was everything, and you could tell in the product because, I mean, yeah, those burgers were juicy, they were tender, and yeah, they still had their integrity to it. It wasn't just crust.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, that's no doubt. There's zero argument there. You're 100% right. Like, us taking those brisket trimmings and grinding them up was just, it made for an amazing product. So we did post on social media the big pan that actually grinded out all of that meat. Literally every single bit of it was used that same night. So we also sent a burger home with Chance and Danielle to take to Mrs. Vernon. So she really loved it as well. She actually texted me and said, "This is the best burger I've ever had." And so she showed a lot of love. And man, it really was because of the actual ground beef that we grinded ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I ate mine like 30 minutes later because by the time the kids, we made them their plates and we were done moving cameras and everything, and I finally ate mine, and that thing was still tender. And the thing about a smash burger is, yes, you want that crust, but it's not meant to be hard. It's meant to add flavor. When it's making that surface contact with your griddle, and you get that that sear, it's a specific like flavor that you're going for, not just the texture. You're also getting that flavor.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they were soft, but they had a very nice even crust and just really, really good beefy flavor.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say this. We might have cheated because we had a really high quality brisket that we're using from competition. But, I mean, man, if you guys are ever trimming anything, dude, save it. We've talked about this before. Save it.
Yeah.
Try and do something with it, right? So even if we have pork left over, we try and cut it into little steaks and we'll make it that week. Or, you know, I've even thrown it in the pit at a competition and said, if it turns out good, we'll turn it in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're always trying to, if we can, save the meat. Now,
well, and here's the thing is you can control, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you can control the fat content when you're grinding it yourself.
For sure. No, 100%. And it's easy to see because you obviously see like, okay, let's just say I run a piece of fat through. That's all fat. And then I run a bigger piece of brisket flat through. Okay, that's mostly beef, right? So that's the actual brisket. And then you mix that together and you can see the color of the ground beef. And you just know, okay, that's going to be a really, really good ground beef mixture right there. Do we know the exact amount of fat that went in there? Like, was it 80-20? Was it 70-30? Was it 90-10? We have no idea. We went off of feel and we went off of look. And, I mean, again, whatever it was, it just turned out so, so good. So we ended up seasoning them with that base, and then we went over top with Killer Hog steak rub, which I also think really, really added a little bit of texture there, right? So that steak rub is very coarse, and we've really, really, really been loving that on our burgers, on our fajitas, on our steaks, on a lot of different stuff. We even thrown it on chicken recently. That texture just adds for something really, really nice when it comes to cooking. And that's something that I'm really starting to enjoy. You know, we've obviously been looking at, hey, let's create our own steak seasoning. Let's do this. Let's do that. We're obviously always talking about it now. Hey, what's next? What's next? And steak's definitely up there with, you know, one of our priorities that we want to come out with because I do love that coarseness, and it just offered a lot to those burgers as well. So if you guys are gonna cook smash burgers, man, don't be afraid to use something that's more than just salt and pepper. I'm not saying salt and pepper is bad, but man, add a little bit of flavor, add a little bit of coarseness. These burgers were just so good, and man, it wasn't just salt and pepper. You know, I get it. I get it. You guys are purists. You want to taste the beef. You want to do this. You want to do that. But man, a good rub can only elevate good beef or pork or chicken or fish or whatever. I mean, obviously you can go overboard with anything, but even in the video, which you guys will see in the upcoming weeks, I mean, I don't go crazy with either of the seasonings. It's a light layer, right? Because there's enough flavor in the beef. A light layer of these seasonings are really just going to elevate it and take it to another level. Now, also, the buns that we used, brioche bun. I mean, I'm just a huge fan of brioche buns recently. I mean, that's what we've been pretty much exclusively using at our house. If you guys are listening, what is your favorite bun to pair with a burger, a smash burger? Have you found anything better than a brioche bun? Because right now we're on a brioche bun high.
Yeah, and something unique that you did was you kind of sauteed, caramelized some onions and some sliced jalapenos, and then kind of smashed those with the patty.
Yeah.
And that was very, very good. I mean,
so that's not something that I came up with, just so you know. Like, I've kind of seen that on social media. Now, I think the difference, and again, sorry to cut you off, I do think the difference, what I did is I did pre-saute them, kind of like you said. I've seen a lot of people throw the raw ones in there, like the raw onions or raw jalapenos or raw whatever, and then smash the burger. No, I actually fully sauteed them. They were softer, and you'll even see when you smash it in, man, it kind of like just spreads all throughout the meat. And it was just really, really, really good. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Keep going.
It's not like this brand new idea that we just came up with, right?
For
This
sure.
is something that people have done and still do, right?
The reason I think I liked it sauteed is because, kind of like you already alluded to a few times, and I know we're cutting each other off this episode. Sorry about that, guys. But I got this thought. I got to go with it.
Yeah, go for it.
Because we sauteed them, they were soft, they were tender. It just paired with the burger. It was a smooth bite. I'm not saying that it's a bad bite to have a crunchy onion or a crunchy jalapeno, but man, it was just one good smooth bite with the sauteed onions and the sauteed jalapenos.
Yeah, and that's just personal preference, right? Because
yeah, for sure.
I mean,
everything is.
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's certain dishes where, yeah, I like the onion raw if it's cut real small and it's like something fresh.
Yeah.
Or jalapenos the same way. Like if it's something fresh, then yeah, I like it to have a little more texture to it. But when it comes to burgers, yeah, I like mine. If I'm going to have onions and jalapenos on it, I want it grilled or I want it softened.
And a burger sounds good right now.
Yeah.
Wow, so this is making me want to eat a burger right after this.
But that's the thing is now it's like you can't go back. We got to grind meat every single time because, I mean, it just was above and beyond. But what's your go-to toppings when it comes to a burger?
Yeah, grilled. So believe it or not, and you know this, we've been together for 13 years now. I was huge against like anything onions, anything tomatoes, anything like that for a very, very, very long time. Recently, you've seen me. I'll eat tomatoes as long as it's in pico de gallo or if it's in a dish or something. Like I will eat tomatoes now. I'll even eat onions now. I'll even eat raw onions now.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, I did not like it. So updated as of right now, big time. Lettuce, pickles, grilled onions, grilled jalapenos, mustard, spicy ketchup, cheese, toasted buns. That's the way I like it. That's the way I like it. I mean, I'm a mustard guy on burgers. I know you're completely opposite of that, but I'm a mustard guy on burgers. I don't like mayonnaise on burgers, but which is weird. I like mayonnaise on my sandwich, so it's just kind of weird, but man, I'm like literally my jaw is clenching because I can just I'm thinking about a good burger right now.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man. You make something good, you create something good like that, it sticks with you.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why we want to talk about it today, because we were talking, we're like, man, what are we going to talk about on the podcast this week? And I'm like, man, let's talk about what we made this weekend. You're like, well, we haven't released it yet. I was like, shoot, we can talk about it. It still gets me all hyped up. So, man, be on the lookout for that video. Like I said, I really, really, really think just even as simple as it is, man, those smash burgers, if done right, they're very hard to beat. Very hard to beat.
And that Weber slate, it did well. The toasting on those buns, was perfect. I mean, you did that first one and you picked it up and we both looked at each other like, oh yeah, man.
We're like, oh, this whole cook's about to go insanely good.
Yeah.
And we were, like I said, cooking smash burgers, cooking anything that fast, it does worry you because you're like, dude, we have seconds to get this shot. Mm-hmm. And, you're moving around, I'm cooking. Number one, you're moving around a lot. Number two, I'm cooking. Number three, we don't want to mess the food up because we are going to eat it.
Yeah.
So it's like you have a lot of things kind of, I don't want to say working against you, but your time is just like boom, 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 boom. And I'm not going to dry a burger out or burn it just for the video. I just can't do it. So you have a limited amount of time, but I mean, it turned out just really good. And again, be on the lookout for that video, man. If you guys have any brisket trimmings, or if you're trimming a brisket for a competition coming up, man, save them. It's going to make for such an amazing product. Now, we don't even have a meat grinder. We do, but we don't, right?
Yeah.
We use, and I think we broke your KitchenAid stand mixer. We use your KitchenAid stand mixer, and dude, I'll tell you what, if you guys have a good KitchenAid stand mixer, buy the meat grinder attachment, and it works very, very well. Sabrina's, how old is that thing? It's older than we've been together.
Yeah, I got that, I think, Christmas. We've talked about this before. I think when I was 16 for Christmas. So that's like, what, I'm almost 32.
Yeah, so almost 16 years ago.
Right. So that just goes to show you how long, I mean, invest in a KitchenAid. There's so much things you can do with it.
Not sponsored.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a big fan. I love them. They're great mixers, and they have a lot of great attachments.
Yeah.
But the grinder attachment is great for it.
So that's kind of why I brought it up, because I do feel like, within reason, a lot of people have KitchenAid stand mixers.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to buy that attachment. It worked for us very well for a very long time.
They have smaller ones too, which I'm not sure if the attachments are compatible. I would assume so.
Or maybe they just sell a different one, a smaller one.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, I think that's something worth. I mean, I think nowadays you can get one for a couple $100, like maybe 300, something like that. So it's a good investment for how long those things last.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, I think it's top quality. And I was really, hopefully it's not broken. We'll find out. It started smoking. We were like, what the hell is going on?
But I think it was because some of the fat was still a little frozen from our trimmings.
Yeah.
So it got some got stuck in there. Once we took it out and removed it, then it was working again.
Yeah,
but that thing was.
But it was smoking. I was like, dude, that's for sure not supposed to be happening. But yeah, so if you guys don't have an actual grinder itself and you do have a KitchenAid, man, look on Amazon and see if you can find something, because for maybe $50-$60, and you're grinding your own trimmings for sure. Yeah. And it just turns out on.
It didn't take long at all.
No, it didn't. It took us like 15 minutes to do the we had a huge amount of trimmings. It was like 15 minutes, dude.
And if you're somebody who likes to like meal prep or get things ready for the week for dinner or whatever, I mean, you just grind a whole bunch of meat and put those in. I mean, if you have a sealer, you can seal that, or even just freezer safe Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
And you have, a pound of ground beef for, whichever days of the week.
For sure.
Ready to go.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's, again, I couldn't say enough. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the smash burgers. That's how good they were. Everybody that had them really raved about them. And, man, I was just really happy with the cook. But that's not the only thing we cooked this past weekend. So that was Friday. Yeah. That was Friday. We ended up staying up really, really, really late, to be honest. We did.
But Friday, we also started our other recipe, which was a cheesecake.
Well, actually, we were doing it kind of at the same time-ish.
Yeah.
So we did start a smoked Oreo cheesecake, which, if you don't know me, I'm a sucker for anything Oreos, like anything. Like the Hershey's Cookies and Cream bar is my favorite ever candy. Cookies and Cream ice cream is my favorite ice cream. Cookies and cream milkshake all day. Oreos and some milk. I mean, yeah, you're speaking my language for sure. So I was extremely excited to do this, but at the same time, also a little bit intimidated because I'm not the pastry chef in the house. Not that you're a professional by any means, but you definitely are the one that does our pastries 99.9% of the time. And the 0.1% of the time was this past Friday. So Sabrina was coaching me through, hey, this is what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. And I mean, you really helped me through the whole process.
But as somebody who doesn't bake very often, wouldn't you say that the process is very simple?
Extremely. So that's kind of why I wanted to bring that up, because I'm not trying to dog on myself. But the reason that I brought it up was because my next point was, hey, I don't bake. I really don't. And yes, with your guidance, but I'm also guiding you the same way she guided me. right?
Mm-hmm.
So the things that I'm saying on camera are literally what you are telling me. So you're giving me information, I'm regurgitating it back to you guys. So feel confident when you see this recipe. Feel confident that you can do it, because my wife was teaching me as I went, and I did cook it all, right? So, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, I did it, Sabrina didn't. No, but I mean, it's true, right? You were telling me, hey, do this. Hey, grind that. Hey, now you slowly mix in the butter. And I did all those things. You didn't grab it from me and do it. You were like,
Right.
hey, do it. So everything that we do in that recipe, like I said, you were giving me that knowledge, and then I'm just passing it along. So feel confident, because Sabrina is the one that really is, I don't want to say teaching you, but she's giving me that information. So, man, the recipe was extremely simple. It really, truly was. So we made a crust with Oreos. We grinded up some Oreos. And I'll tell you what, that crust came out so good, like crunchy. Just imagine.
Like a giant Oreo.
Yeah, literally. I was going to say, just imagine a giant Oreo on the bottom. When you bit it, it had that snap, that crunch, everything. And man, it was a really, really, really good recipe. So we started that process on Friday, and we actually fully cooked it on Friday. But with cheesecake, you have to let it set on the counter for 4 hours overnight, whatever. I'm sorry, for around 4 hours just to cool down, and then it needs to go into the refrigerator.
Not 4 hours on the counter.
I thought you said it needed to fully cool down. We left it there for a long time.
No, I put it away after a little while. But you just want to leave it on the countertop until it's like cool to touch, right? Because you don't want to put this hot pan in the fridge.
Yeah.
So just, let it cool enough to touch it, wrap it in plastic wrap. Then you can put it in the fridge for like 4 hours. Or we just did overnight so we could have it the next day. And one of the things we talked about in the video, or you talked about, was the water bath. Now, a water bath isn't necessary when making cheesecake. With this recipe, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But in my experience, when you don't use the water bath, your cheesecake is very likely to crack. It's going to have cracks on the top, which, it's not a big deal. But if you're doing YouTube like us, you want it to look as nice as possible. I know a lot of the comp people, when they do the jackpots, if they do recipes, a lot of them do cheesecakes.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something like that, you want it to look nice. So the water bath is really, really handy for that.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I think I said a little bit of that in the video,
For
right?
sure.
Like it's not necessary, but of course, right, we're creating recipes. We want them to look good, and we want them to be appealing. So if you guys see that thumbnail, I want to click on that, right? So we're really, really, really always trying to create recipes with beautiful looking food, because that's the way that we're going to get you guys to click. And hopefully you guys want to watch the video and want to recreate the recipe, because I'm telling you, the cheesecake was so good.
And we cooked it on the sear wood.
Yeah, we cooked it on a pellet grill, right? So if you guys have a pellet grill, this is going to be a great recipe that you can recreate. But I even said it in the video. If you don't have it, that's fine. Use your oven. That's the point of our videos, is to give you an option, right? Even with the recipe, I want to try golden Oreos. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. I want to try confetti Oreos. By all means, right? So there's little things that you can take from our videos that you're going to be able to recreate. And then, man, from there, by all means, make it your own. That's exactly what this is all about. There's been lots of recipes in the past that I see Malcolm Reed make, Mark Williams make, whoever. And I'm like, that looks delicious, but what if I did this? It's kind of like the onions and the jalapenos earlier we were talking about.
Right.
I'm not saying nobody's done that, but in my head, I was like, I told you. I said, hey, I'm going to saute them first so they're soft and they're tender, and then I'm going to smash them into the burger. Man, like I said, there might have been a bajillion people that have done that. I've only seen people do it with the raw white onions and the raw jalapenos. So, man, just make it your own. So that recipe, in my opinion, was really delicious. The kids loved the cheesecake. Nathan loved the cheesecake. He ate like 5 slices overall, right?
Yeah, the kids wouldn't finish them. He's like, hey, give me that one.
Yeah, so the kids would eat it, but man, the kids didn't eat anything. They we get them a 4-piece nuggets from Chick-fil-A, and they eat 1.5 nugget. I'm like, dude, what is going on? So that's one of the things that I've been trying to learn is like, hey, if we're going to eat something, man, I don't need to order that much food, because there's going to be about 50 million pieces left over from our kids. But, yeah, anyway, the recipe came out really good. Everybody really enjoyed it. And I really think that that's going to be another one you guys are going to enjoy.
Yeah,
so be on the lookout for that one.
And don't knock it just because it's not a barbecue item. The point of doing recipes like that is to show you that, I mean, look, all of your equipment outside, whether it's a pellet grill, a kettle, a drum, whatever, a lot of these things can be used to make more than just barbecue.
For sure.
And I mean, don't lie. We all love eating dessert.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we might not like eating the same desserts, but we all love eating dessert.
For sure.
Right? So
and
don't knock it.
Well, and then again, right? The point is, even if you don't ever make that cheesecake, oh snap! I never even thought that I can make a cheesecake on a pellet grill, or a cake, or brownies, or whatever. Man, just try something different. Even if it's boxed brownies, get outside, cook something good. Yeah. All right. So that was our Friday. We had a pretty eventful Friday, but we were super determined, and we still are, to create as much content as we can. And then Saturday rolls along, and, you know, I ain't going to lie. This is what happened. What happened was I didn't wake up early enough to throw the beef ribs on the pit. I was going to think of an excuse, but why sit here and lie? I just didn't wake up early enough. I woke up. I looked at my clock. I was like, damn, dude. I can't. There's no way I don't have enough time to make these beef ribs on the TMG anymore. So I said, okay. You were in the, I said, hey, you know, season them up with that base, trifecta, throw them on the sear wood. I'm going to the store. And I had no idea what I was going to get. But I called you or texted you or something. I was like, hey, smoked turkey breast. And then you were like, okay. So then, of course, I walked around and I found some items, which I really don't want to ruin this one. We could talk about it, but I don't want to ruin it. I found some items that made this turkey breast different. In my opinion, these items did elevate that turkey breast to another level. This is not a salt and pepper turkey breast recipe. The one thing I want you guys to take from this is that while that is great turkey, I'm not saying you can make it better, but you can make it different. You can completely different flavor profile. I mean, turkey's turkey, right? It tastes like turkey. But the flavors that we added there truly made it so delicious. So we're going to go back to beef ribs real quick. So we ended up making those on the sear wood. And I'll tell you what, dude, that base and trifecta, shoot, it left a bark on them things. It was a really, really nice flavor. There's a picture on our Facebook where I actually posted a question that I want to ask now to you, and I want to talk about it a little bit. And the reason I want to talk about it is because I'm curious what you think, and I'm also going to give you my opinion. Beef ribs or pork ribs, and why? Which one do you prefer?
So in the past, we've actually talked about this, and I was strictly beef ribs.
Yeah.
I love beef ribs. It's one of my favorite things for you to make. Typically, even like for my birthday or something like that. If you ask me what you want to make for me, it's usually that.
Yeah.
I even prefer beef ribs over brisket.
Sure.
Brisket's very good, but if I had to choose between the two, beef ribs. Now, beef ribs are very not difficult, but you're not going to find them at a lot of restaurant places. It'll only be like a specific day, certain hours. They're not going to make very much, which I understand. I mean, dino ribs are typically harder to get a hold of, right? And you got to cook them right. Not everybody cooks them right, but a perfectly done beef rib is usually my answer. But now at this point in my life, that's a harder question to answer because your pork ribs are amazing. They're very, very good. So that's kind of a tough one.
Well, that's why I asked the question. And not because I think my pork ribs are great, but because I feel like you and I, have elevated our barbecue game a lot. And I'm gonna throw this out there. It isn't just because of us. It's because of the people around us. It's because of the videos that I've watched myself. I still watch How to Barbecue. How many times do you walk into the living room and I'm literally watching a barbecue video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching How to Barbecue Right. I'm watching Chud's channel. I'm watching those, I don't even know if it's a specific channel, but where they go visit the barbecue restaurants and they're talking to these pit masters and they're talking about their restaurant and how they do things. And I'm always looking and always trying to learn. And straight up, like the beef ribs that I made this past weekend, I made them pretty much the way Goldie's has said in the past that they've made theirs. You know, very minimal trim. Well, you actually trimmed them, but still very minimal trim. A nice rub on them. I do think they use mostly like salt and pepper and stuff, which is different than us, but open the whole time, never wrapping them. We didn't wrap them one time until the end. And that's something that I learned from Goldie's, right? I don't remember if it was Jerby's channel or if it was one of those where they visit the pitmaster, but straight up, we didn't wrap them one time. They probed like butter. We rested them. And man, they were just incredible. So I feel like our barbecue game, ours, has elevated so much. I do feel like we cook like right now, obviously we cook the best barbecue we've ever cooked. Right? And in another year or another 2 years, it's going to be even better, I think, because we continue to elevate and we continue to evolve. But that's why I asked the question, because I do think right now, it's if we cook beef ribs and we but I do think right now, if we cook beef ribs and pork ribs and we give them to somebody, man, I don't think people are going to hate either of them.
Yeah.
I just don't think so. And again, this is not to say, oh my gosh, we're so good. No, I'm just asking the question because I feel like once you, whoever's listening, once you get to a certain level, your barbecue is so damn good, it's hard to choose.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just the truth. Like, okay, if you were to ask me beef ribs or pork ribs or that turkey breast we just made, literally right now today, I'm choosing that turkey breast.
Yeah.
That's how good that was.
Yeah.
Right? Now, tomorrow, yeah, I might choose beef ribs. And then the day after, I might choose pork ribs or turkey breast again. But whenever your barbecue game elevates, man, it's hard to choose because you feel like you kind of nail everything, right? I mean, even when did I make the chicken?
Yesterday?
Yeah, no, I think it was 2 days ago.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 2 days ago because I took it to work yesterday. Yeah, and I mean, even the chicken. I mean, it was perfectly cooked. It was, which is crazy to say for me, right? Because somehow our chicken sucks at barbecue comps. But no, seriously, it was perfectly cooked. It was super juicy. Breast was tender. I mean, you just kind of feel like once you really know your pits, and I think that's another thing I wanted to talk about, knowing your pit. Knowing your pit. I know that TMG very well. Those drums I use, I know them very, very well. If you came and you told me, hey, I'm going to cook turkey breast tomorrow on the TMG, I don't think that you would be able to nail it because you don't know that pit the way I do. But if you told me, hey, I'm going to cook on the drums, I would be like, oh, for sure, you're going to nail it because you have been there with me so many times when we cook on the drums that I know you know exactly what to do, how to set it up, where to put the coals, all that stuff. Like you just know. So I think that knowing your pits is so important. You kind of just need to have a relationship with them. You need to understand them, You need to talk to them, be nice to them, rub them.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing, right? Because whenever you guys are watching the turkey video and you show the process of how you get the TMG started.
Yeah.
When you reference knowing your pit, right? It doesn't mean, oh, you need this much charcoal and this much wood, right?
No.
It's you're creating a base for it, which is very easy to understand, right? You put the coals, you get them hot, and then you can start layering your wood. But knowing your pit is what that I would say means is knowing, okay, well, I'm watching the temp. I need to add this much wood. Yeah. I need to add this split. Or it maybe needs more coals, or I need to have this door open for a little bit to get those temps back up.
Yeah.
That's what it means to know your pits. Everybody can start with that same base of the hot coals and layering that wood on there. Mm-hmm. But you really need to understand, okay, if I put this much wood, it's going to shoot up this much.
Yeah.
If I don't put enough, temps are going to drop.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for sure. And I think like another big thing was, and honestly, a lot of the times it might seem like, oh, well, that's just way too perfect. But I mean, sincerely, I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So this past weekend, when we were cooking that turkey breast, in the video, I said, hey, I know it takes me about an hour to get this pit to temp. This is a lot of metal that this heat needs to go through because this is a reverse flow smoker. So if you guys don't know what reverse flow is, there's actually reverse flow plates in the cooking chamber under all the grates. So basically, you have your firebox, and this might be hard to visualize in your head, right? I wish I could like draw.
Unless you've seen the pit, yeah.
Yeah, unless you've seen the pit. Okay, so basically, the firebox and the smokestack are on the same exact side. You're thinking, how the heck does that work? Well, that's what I was saying. You have those plates. You have those reverse flow plates that the smoke actually kind of hits under and on top, and it just continuously keeps going to the end. It hits that side of your pit, so opposite of the smokestack now, and then all of it comes into the smoke chamber and then out the smokestack. So basically, it's going away from the firebox to one side of the pit. It hits that wall, comes out the top, and then it all disperses out the smokestack. So I know, for me, that I have to get that pit a little bit hotter because of those plates. Those plates are going to heat up a little bit. The inside of the cooking chamber is going to heat up a little bit. So I know it takes me about an hour, right? And lo and behold, after 55 minutes, our pit was running right at like, what, 265, 260, something like that, which I did want it at 275, but I'm telling you, I know I can start anything at that temp, right? So knowing your pit is little stuff like that, like, hey, I need this done in X amount of hours. Well, I know it's going to take me an hour to get my pit hot.
Right.
Then the smoke is going to take another however many hours, which shout out to my buddy Andrew, who owns Full Send Barbecue.
Yeah.
I did actually reach out to him and I said, hey, because it has been a little bit since I cooked a smoked turkey breast on an offset. You know, we've cooked so many things on a drum recently. Everything is so much faster.
Right.
It's really, really hard to gauge temps. Brisket on a drum versus an offset. You're talking literally 6 hours or 12 to 14.
Right.
You know, it's just different. So I reached out and I said, hey, how long is this going to take me? And he gave me some insight on how long it was going to take, where he takes it to, how he rests and all that stuff. So shout out to Andrew for that. Appreciate that. And again, the cook was nailed.
Yeah.
And knowing your pits in general is really, really, really just kind of important. Not kind of, it's very important. But I know we kind of went away from our topic of the beef ribs, pork ribs thing to talk about the turkey breast a little bit. But man, like I said, that question gets a lot harder when you elevate your barbecue game.
Yeah, I think it's for some people it might be easy to answer because maybe they haven't had really good beef ribs.
Yep.
Maybe they haven't had really good pork ribs.
Yeah,
so I think for us now it's like once we've had really good of each.
Yeah.
So it makes it that much harder to choose because beef ribs, they're going to be a little fatty. They're going to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so much meat and you're going to want to eat that whole rib.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to pork ribs, which are going to be a little bit leaner as compared to a beef rib.
Yeah.
And you can eat more of them, but maybe not feel as full as eating a whole dino rib.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So those things kind of come into consideration. But that's tough. We've eaten so many pork ribs recently from competing, and they're so good. So
yeah, and like I said, I think the reason I asked the question, the reason I wanted to talk about it here, is not because I think one is better than the other, but because I just kind of wanted to talk about the fact that, like, hey, look, on any given day, I'll choose one or the other. It just depends on the day. Once you get to that, you know, you're gonna just be choosing what you want to eat based on the day. And I mean, beef ribs, dude. Let's be honest. You throw beef ribs in front of me, I'm eating them every single day. Pork ribs, the same. Like I said, turkey breast, smash burgers, whatever it is. It's just gonna be good. So, man,
so what did the people say?
So the people actually, it was a little bit more mixed than I thought, if I'm being 100% honest, because I figured everybody basically was just gonna say, what's it called, beef ribs.
Yeah.
But I did see a few people saying that they liked pork ribs. So, for example, here Walter Reed said beef. Moab said, I like cooking beef ribs, not a fan of eating them, so pork ribs for me. Again, that's one. Gabriel Ramos said pork. If I'm gonna smoke beef that long, it might as well be a brisket. Rick Cardenas said baby back ribs. Paige Nicole said both because I'm hungry. I like that answer. Balde said pork for dough, beef for show. Okay. That's a good one. All right. Dogs Barbecue said beef dino ribs for sure. Eric Riojas said, depends on the mood. If done right, a beef rib is hard to beat. But I love that answer. It depends on the mood. And that's what I was getting at.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on the mood. I don't think that there's 100% an answer here. If you're nailing both of them, man, they're both damn good. Now, of course, some people might just prefer beef or pork, and I get that too. Let's see. Kevin Strahan said beef 100%. Billy Ruff said love to cook pork ribs, but really love beef ribs. Aaron Cruz, beef rib. Nick Calanta said all depends on the mood. Both are awesome. And that's, again, what I really wanted to get at here. Adrian Davis said beef ribs are overrated. Pork ribs are the best. See, some people just think differently. And, hey, that's awesome. Adrian likes those. Daniel, I like the beef for flavor. Yeah, this is a great one. I like beef for the flavor, and I enjoy pork ribs for the price. That's also true.
Yeah. So
we did spend $63 and $65.
Yeah.
So $63 and $65 on 2 racks.
Right.
So we spent over $120 on beef ribs.
Right.
Not complaining. I'm just telling you guys a fact. So
yeah.
Obviously I can get 3 racks of pork ribs for probably average around $14 or so. So for a fourth of the price, I'm getting 4 times more product.
Right.
So that's something to consider as well. Like, are you making beef ribs for the masses? Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll definitely throw down a lot of pork ribs for people, though. Chance says beef easily. I personally like the flavor more, but I usually cook them less. Beef is just the superior protein overall. I mean, that's, hey, like I said, opinions, right? Chance prefers beef. I don't necessarily think that I think that it's the superior protein. But I mean, again, I like the answer because it proves people think completely differently. Alan says, I say pork ribs only because I've never done good dino ribs like that. I can't find them around me, so I'll have to go into a local butcher shop and ask for a cut sometimes.
That's what we mentioned,
that's what we're mentioning. Joshua Hodge said both. Love that. Brian Lee says beef because it is juicy and delicious, which it is. Michael Smith said both, but beef dino ribs are... I'm laughing because I saw the next one. Both, but beef dino ribs are an unappreciated cut. They're like brisket on a stick and much easier and quicker than a brisket packer. Yeah. I do agree. I agree with that. It is like brisket on a stick if you cook it right for sure. Mm-hmm. Timothy said yes. That's why I was laughing a second ago. Matthew said pork is in my budget. Beef is in my soul. Like we talked about a second ago, you're probably not cooking beef ribs for the masses.
Yeah.
Craig said pork ribs. They are easier to cook for me. There we go. Uwe said beef for me. I would love Uwe's beef ribs because I'm sure he cooks them amazingly.
Right.
Nick Payne said pork. Beef is reserved for brisket and steak. Hey, there you go. Randall says have to go beef. Raul says Bofum. Boffum. And it's actually it's a meme. It's Dexter's lab. He's whispering in a girl's ear. It looks like probably when he was saying omelette du fromage. Yeah. Omelette du fromage. Yeah. If you know, you know. So I'm 34 years old. When I was growing up, Dexter's Lab was like big time for me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Art Rios says money, right? Diane says pork. Brandon Perryman says unpopular opinion here, but I don't really care for beef ribs that much. I prefer pork ribs. Hey, like I said, that's just what people are thinking on this. So there was lots of answers. And, that's why I throw these out there. So we have topics to talk about. And I'll tell you what, this weekend I would definitely like to eat both. Right? I ain't complaining about either. But I think once you guys continue to elevate your barbecue game and you get confident in your game, which, we're pretty confident, I guess, man, they're both hard to beat for sure. So it's a great topic, and it's definitely something that's awesome to talk about. So we did kind of mention our turkey breast a little bit, and be on the lookout for that video 100%. Now, that was basically our weekend. Now, it was a lot of cooking for us. It was a lot of filming. I did try and film a short by myself. It didn't go well. It went well, but it is hard to film without you. And I had a goal to do it without you because I really want to film shorts on my own without you and then edit them on my own without you so you can keep doing your thing and then I can go do mine on the laptop. That's my goal with it. It's going to probably take me some time, but I'll get there. I'll get there. Just give me some time. But yeah, so I mean, a lot of cooking this past weekend. I'm hoping it makes for some really good content for you guys to watch. And yeah, again, if you guys want to see anything specific, please, please, please let us know because what we want to be doing coming up is what you guys want to see. And we're here to create those videos for you guys if you have anything that you want to see.
Yeah, and this weekend, a lot of you dads out there are going to be celebrating for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Which our smoked turkey video is going to come out this Father's Day. So shout out to all the dads out there. Hopefully you have a great Father's Day and enjoy our video.
Yeah, for sure. So obviously specific shout out to my dad for being the best father ever. I have so much love for that man. Everything he's done for me in my life has put me in the position to where I can sit in a home that you and I are grateful to be able to pay for and sit here and look at each other and do barbecue videos. And it's an incredible life that my dad worked so hard for me to be able to do. And that's exactly my motivation every single damn day of my life because I want the kids to be able to do exactly the same or something different, whatever they want to do. I will never, ever, ever, ever in my life be upset if the kids don't want to do Gulf Coast smoke. I'm completely cool with it ending with me and you because I would love for them to have a different dream than me. My life ain't theirs, right? And that's one thing that my dad always allowed me to do. He gave me that freedom. Man, there was a time in my life, which we've talked about it before, I did professional video games. And before we had sponsors and everything, my dad would pay for flights and pay for this and pay for the new Xbox that I had to practice with and the new controller and the headset. And hey, man, go be safe. Go have fun, but go be safe. That's always what my dad has taught me. Have fun and be safe. The two most important things in life. So, yeah, specific shout out to my dad. Obviously, shout out to your father as well, who's been a huge supporter of ours for a very long time. And obviously, he's your dad. So, we cannot wait until within the next years they're coming home. He can be around more. He can help us continue to grow our business, which he's already told us that he will, right? So we're grateful for Jason and then my dad Alonzo, Big Al, and man, like I said, everybody who's a dad out there, hopefully you guys have a great day. Hopefully you get to spend some quality time with your kids. We understand that not everybody is in the same situation as us where we do get to see our kids every single day. So if you do get to see your kids that day, man, I hope you guys enjoy it. And, just keep pushing, keep trying to be the best dad you can be. I know that, sometimes even me as I get on this camera all the time and I talk to this podcast and I'm so, for the most part, I'm so uplifting and I feel motivated and I feel this and I feel that. And man, I'm not perfect. I have a lot I can work on even when it comes to being a father. And it's something that I think about all the time. So, man, I mean, Father's Day is it's a blessing to be able to call myself a father to 3 amazing kids. I mean, I couldn't imagine life without them, right? Like without being a father, right? So everything that they've done for me in these 8 years since I became a father, and my life has changed, right? Forever. And I'm just grateful to have the kids that I have. And a lot of what we do is, again, to show them that you can do whatever the hell you want. And we want you to. I want the kids to come to me with an invention or an idea or something one day. Say, shit, let's go. I got your back. Just the same exact way my dad did. And has always said, dude, if I told my dad tomorrow, hey, I want to do something, I don't know, whatever, he would be there with me. And just the way he always has been. So I have the greatest father in the entire world. Dad, if you're listening, I love you very, very much. So I did want to bring up before we moved on any further, we did put out a video this past week of the barbecue competition that we went to like 3 weeks ago in Jourdanton, Texas. Shout out to Raul. He RJC'd that event. Shout out to Uwe Braun. He GC'd the event. It was a great event. The video I thought was really, really good. There was a lot of B-roll, not much of me talking. One of the things moving forward, Sabrina and I talked about here, is when we go to competitions, we will not always be filming. There's going to be some competitions where we don't film, but on the ones that we do, we're going to work on talking more throughout that video. I even had this idea in my head that I think it'd be kind of cool if I was mic'd up during awards, just to kind of like, oh man, we got a chicken call, we got a rib call, we're in a good position. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got a pork call. Now we're in a really good position. We do need this brisket call though. If we get the brisket call, all right, awesome, let's go. Let's see if we can pull this one out. Stuff like that, little commentary, or oh damn, we didn't get a chicken call. That's definitely not good. Damn, we didn't get a rib call. It's really not good. But hey, at the same time, not very many people are getting. So just maybe a little behind the scenes commentary of awards, I think would be really cool. So we're gonna be focusing on even the videos that we do bring you from competition, leveling those up, because there is going to be less of them, but they need to be as high a quality as possible. So it's just some kind of ideas that I had floating in my head today when it came to the competitions.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. There's a lot of socializing going on.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there is, but
well, not on my end, but
but like I said, we won't be doing this every time. We won't film every comp. So
if we're doing less of them,
I don't think we will. I mean, that's not my plan. Is to not film every single comp, right? Because I don't want our lives to turn into camera only. Gosh dang, try and say that 5 times. Mm-hmm. I kind of got a little tongue twisted there. I don't want our life to just be camera only. I do want to be able to go out there and spend some time with the friends and hang out and just try and cook good food. So that's not my goal, but yeah, I guess we can always see. I mean, I do want to break out the phone and get some shorts and stuff like that, and some trimming stuff and some slicing stuff and all that. So I don't think we'll ever stop doing those for sure, but you know how it goes.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, what else did we want to talk about today? Was there anything else that we had on our list?
No, that was it. Pretty much all the recipes. You guys are going to see, like I said, the smoked turkey this weekend on Sunday, Father's Day. Yeah. And then you're going to see the next 2 recipe videos the next couple weeks. Yeah. And we're going to be trying to, as you said, use our weekends wisely when we're not going to competitions, and keep getting some more backyard content and recipes out for you guys.
Yeah, so and something I don't normally do, but I'm going to do it here today, is a little bit of marketing, right? So if you guys go to our website, gulfcoastsmoke.com, and you actually sign up for our email newsletter and sign up for our email newsletter, what I've started doing is sending out emails every single time we create and post a new video. So what that does is it allows you to say like, oh, hey, yeah, there's a new video out. Let me go watch it. Or, hint, hint, hey, a new product's coming soon that you can only see on the newsletter. So, hint, hint, we do have a product coming very, very soon. And hint, hint, I will be posting on the newsletter before I post on social media, so you guys will get like early access. Hey, Trifecta's available now. Boom. And you'll get to shop for Trifecta a few hours before everybody else. So if you go to gulfcoastsmoke.com and you sign up for that newsletter, you are going to have some advantages there. It also gives you a 10% discount code. And you know me, I do send out a lot of discount codes in there anyway, more than 10%. So if you guys are looking for discount codes, and we're going to be posting all of our recipes there. And one of our goals is to start building our catalog back up, because don't forget, I deleted every recipe we had on our website because I don't know why, because I just accidentally did it and screwed up real bad. So we're trying to get our catalog back up. We're going to be sending out lots of emails and text messages. So if you guys want to text, hey, let us know. If you don't, hey, that's cool too. We're not here to force it on you guys. If you're interested in it, go to the website, sign up. And so lastly, before we go, one of the things that I like to do is I do like to, well, I don't want to say put it out there, but how do I say this right? I like to put the pressure on myself. That's a good way to put it. So I talked to you guys about a couple weeks back about like trying to lose weight, which I'm still trying to do, right? I've still been trying to, not always successfully. I'm going to sit here and be honest with you guys. But I mean, like, try and eat better. I've been, instead of eating snacks, I'll eat a protein bar. You've seen me do that. Or like a protein shake. And I'm taking a protein shake to work, and I'm taking food to work now rather than just going out and eating. Today we did eat because it was Timmy's birthday. Happy birthday, Timmy.
Happy birthday, Timmy.
Happy birthday, brother. Timmy's a great coworker, great friend. So happy birthday to him. Well, this will be out. A
couple days ago, yeah.
Yeah, a couple days ago was his birthday. So happy birthday, T-Pain. And I like to put pressure on myself. I love it. I feel like I thrive under pressure. And it gets me going, right? Just even thinking about it. So our goal from here on out is to try. And the reason I say try is because do not forget, we do have 3 kids. I still have a day job. And Sabrina does homeschool our kids as well. I told you last episode, and I told Sabrina as well, I'm going to push her to her limits, but I'm also going to push myself to mine. And through 1 week, I'm honestly very proud of us. I think we've done very, very good. I think we've held ourselves accountable. We have not had to have a conversation about, hey, what's going on with the video? Or, hey, did you send out those emails? Or, hey, did we do invoices or whatever? We've both just been doing what we had to do. And even though, obviously, I come home from work tired, like I took like a 15, 20-minute nap today, and I woke up, and you're like, hey, we don't have to do the podcast today. I'm like, nah, we're doing it. So I've held myself accountable. You've held yourself accountable. We started watching Suits yesterday. So,
Here we go.
So, I'm going to have to balance Suits and GCS because even over 2 episodes, I'm already like, all right, I'm ready for another and another and another. So anyway, to get back to the point, we're going to try our best to start putting out 2 videos per week, Tuesdays and Sundays, obviously with a podcast on Friday. And then now I'm going to start trying. I did try once. It just didn't work out. So I was like, damn. But I'm going to start trying to put out shorts as well throughout the week. So my goal is at least 2, hopefully 3. Again, can't promise anything, but I like to put it out there. I like to put pressure on myself because if then we do no shorts, 1 video a week, people are going to be like, man, you're full of it.
Hey, well, I thought you said you were going to put out shorts.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but if I'm going to talk about it,
for sure,
I need to be about it. And that's why I like putting it out there because, man, I can only be mad at myself if somebody does say that because I'm the one talking about this.
Right.
Now, I know we don't have the most viewers or listeners, but that's what I hold ourselves to a high standard. And that's just what I would like to start doing if we can. There's going to be weeks where we can't, but we've talked about it like on my 4-day weekends. We really should bust tail and get as many of those videos filmed as we can. And it was hard, but it was doable. It was doable. I think it's really important to kind of really, really, really think about your recipes. So you have like a longer one, but you pair that with a shorter one. So it's like kind of easy and you offset them a little bit just so you're just filming all day.
Well, on like Friday, both recipes we did, the cheesecake and the smash burgers, required the KitchenAid, right? So we chose something that, utilizes the same equipment we're using.
For sure.
Or, if you're using maybe the same ingredients for each one or you need similar ingredients, as long as we plan it out, usually it should go smoother.
Yeah, so the channel we want to grow. That's why we want to up everything. And again, I like putting it out there because that's pressure on me to actually follow through with what I'm saying. So, hopefully, this Sunday, you are for sure going to see another video on the channel, and you're also going to see the podcast Friday. I can't promise the shorts because I ruined the shorts. But anyway, we're going to continue to push forward. Anything you guys are trying to do in your lives, try and push forward. Try to level up, even if it's just a little bit. I know you can do it. I know that you are capable of anything that you want in this life. Doesn't have to be barbecue. It can be absolutely anything. So if you guys have something that you're working on that you want to, man, even just talk to me about, dude, shoot me a DM. Like, I respond to everybody. I'll talk with anybody about barbecue or business. I've had people recently say, hey, I'm still in the seasoning now. How should I do X, Y, and Z? I said, hey, dude, anytime you need anything, reach out. I do not mind sharing. I want everyone to elevate, dude. Let's just take over. Let's take over. So if you guys are working on something, if you have a project, if you have a dream, push harder. It's hard. I know. Trust me. We know it ain't easy. But, man, imagine that day. Imagine that day whenever we have what we want, you know? I have it now. I ain't going to lie. I have you. I have the kids. I have mom and dad. I have my sisters. I'm grateful. Life is amazing. But my dream, and I've told you my dream, is to walk into a big office for a business that you and I created. My dad's in there with coffee, making breakfast tacos. Your dad's in there shooting the shit with whoever. Your mom's in there. My sisters are in there. My best friends are in there, and we're able to pay them all. You know, like, it gives me the chills thinking about that shit. And don't even bleep that out. You know, it's like, that is what I want. That is what I'm telling you. Like, it amps me up. Like, it's funny because I talk about this all the time at work. I'm like, man, you know, I don't want to be like a manager at work. I've told you this too, right? I don't want to be a manager because just like corporations, and we're not going to get too much into that, but I don't want to be a manager at work. And then I laugh because I do want to own a business, an important business, and I want people to rely on me and you for their livelihoods. I want that. Like I said a second ago, I love pressure. I've loved it for the longest time. I loved it when I was playing golf. And sometimes I folded. I ain't going to lie. But there was a lot of times when I prevailed. And oh my gosh, that's a great feeling. So it's one of those things, like I said, if you guys are working on anything, man, push hard. Push hard. Whenever we all reach where we want to go, it's going to be a glorious feeling. One of the things that I haven't been doing as much as I should be lately is really, really, really talking to God. I haven't been praying as much as I used to. Not used to. In the past couple of weeks, I haven't been praying as much. Well, number one goal right now is to continue to pray, read my Bible, reading my Jesus Calling book, which I was doing really, really good for some days there. So do not forget, everybody out there, like, while this is important, right? While all of this is important for me, right? I need to keep God at the forefront of our relationship, of my life, of a lot of different things. And I understand that not everybody has the same beliefs as me. And I will never push those on you guys. And I'm sorry if it ever feels like I am. I respect everybody's beliefs. Mine are that I need to be closer with God in order to reach my goals. So that's something that I also like putting out there, because it's just like, hey, man, you know, you want these things, let's do everything that it takes in order to achieve them. And for me, number one is, you know, remaining close with God and having that friend that I can talk to any time of the day, no matter what. So, man, I'm sorry I ended this on a rant, kind of, but you guys know already. I can kind of do that. But hopefully this amped you guys up a little bit. Hopefully whatever you're trying to do, you wake up tomorrow morning and you realize that, hey, it starts now. You know, it's now. It's now or never, man. Just go for it. Tomorrow's not promised. We've seen that very, very recently in my life. Tomorrow's not promised. So let's go. Let's get it. Do you have anything you want to say?
I'll just leave a comment down below. What is your favorite memory with your dad?
That's a good one. So it's sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's funny. I'm going on like a 15-minute rant, and then you're like, what's the it's like, what's your favorite comment? I'm sorry. Comment what's your favorite memory with your dad, while I'm over here like, no, don't bleep that out. Like, let's get it. Tomorrow's our day, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And this
and by the way.
Yeah, by the way. No, one last thing, and I'll make it quick, I promise. Everything that we talk about here and who I am as a person, I want everybody to realize that what we're doing does not make us better than anybody, right? We're just two people who are trying to reach a goal of more time with family, and we're doing it a specific way. I do not think I cook better than you, if you're listening. I do not think I am cooler than you because we have a YouTube channel. I do not think I'm better than you at anything, and I will always sincerely feel like that. You guys already know, obviously, I'm a Christian man, not a perfect Christian. Said that a million times. I'm not better than you. We all wake up, go to sleep the same exact way. So I just want to put that out there because, yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like I need to say it because I guess, well, today we're talking about like once you elevate your barbecue to this level, everything's really good. Man, dude, it's just barbecue. You know, I ain't nobody. I ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I'm a guy that likes to cook. I do think we cook pretty decent food. That's it. Everybody that's listening, I guarantee you cook good as well. I've met a lot of people that cook better than me, and I ain't afraid to admit it. It's cool. Man, just having confidence in yourself, there's nothing wrong with it. But I'm not better than anybody. I don't think I'm cool because we have a YouTube channel that's, got however many subscribers or anything like that. We just really, really, really want this. That's all. And I know sometimes I probably don't even need to say these things, but this podcast is like my way of expressing these things, right? And it really is an opportunity for me to just talk and get things off my chest, right? So, that's what I wanted to say. That's the last thing I wanted to say. We're not cooler than you. We're not better than you. We are all in this life brothers and sisters, and man, we're here to support any one of you guys. I mean it. If you need anything, I will do everything in my power to help you out, whether it's how to start a YouTube channel. Hey, how did you cook that brisket? Hey, what temp do you take your ribs to? Whatever. I'm here. Sabrina is here. Man, like I said, let's level up together. Sorry for the ranting. Don't forget, what is your favorite memory with your dad? What is your favorite memory with your dad, actually?
Oh, gosh. There's so many to choose from.
Yeah.
Because my favorite memories with my dad are just, he's a big goofball, right? So there's just been so many, like, just ridiculous things. I think it would be tough for anybody, to try and pick a singular moment, right? But I'll never forget one time, that song by Evanescence, the Wake Me Up, and there's a guy singing and there's a girl singing.
Yeah.
And he had one too many drinks, right? Yeah. So we're in the car and he's singing this song, right?
Yeah.
And he's singing the guy parts, and of course he's a little tipsy, and he's telling my mom, "You sing the girl parts, I'll sing the guy parts." And he was singing all the parts, and it was like one of the funniest things that I'll ever remember. Shout
out to your mom also, by the way. Miss her. Hopefully we get to see her pretty soon as well. Man, if I had to have so believe it or not, there is a favorite memory I have with my dad, and I still have the note to prove it. So when I was a younger kid, I played baseball, and I actually hurt my arm at one point, right? Throwing a curveball, which I shouldn't have been doing. I was too young. And I tore some tendons in my right arm. And, of course, I went to the doctor and everything, was getting it fixed. I was, rehabbing it or whatever. But they said I could throw, but only X amount of pitches, and I needed to ice it, and I needed to whatever. So there was, all these rules on what I could and couldn't do. And I remember we were playing in a baseball game, and we were winning by 1 run, and the other pitcher, I don't even remember who it was. I just remember my portion of it was, started kind of falling off the rails. Wasn't doing very well. I had to have been maybe 12, 10, something like that. And I told coach, I said, "Hey, put me in." And he's like, "Dude, you're not supposed to be throwing." I was like, "Nah, put me in." And I pitched and I finished the game. We won the game. After that, the next day, my dad wrote me a note. Ooh, this is going to get me emotional. He wrote me a note on how proud of me he was, and how what I did was the definition of a winner. Why am I getting so... if you guys are watching the camera and it looks like I was crying, it's because I was a second ago. But I can finish this story. So I finished the game. We won the game. And my dad wrote me a note the next day talking about, "Dude, you are the definition of a winner, and I'm proud to be your father." And I'll never forget what that meant to me in the moment. And I still have that letter. Have you ever seen that letter?
Maybe.
I have it in a manila folder.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
My dad wrote it to me. And he printed it out and he put it on his... Where did he put it? I think he put it on his counter in his bedroom. Man, or did he put it on my counter? He put it on the counter, and it had my name on it. And and I read it, and that was probably one of the coolest moments that I've ever had with my dad, because as a kid, right, I kind of gained respect for my old man, who, I mean, you always want to seek approval from the people that you look up to, and I looked up to my dad, and I still look up to my dad. I've always told you, like, dude, if I can be half the man of that guy, like, I'm the best ever, because he's the best ever. So that was one of my favorite moments with my dad that I will never forget. And man, it just meant so much to me. It really did. I mean, you know, always had the best baseball gloves, the best shoes, man, everything. Dad just got me all decked out all the time. So, yeah, my dad wrote me a note telling me that, what I did was the definition of a winner, and how he was so proud of me. And man, as a kid, shoot, that's about the best thing you can ever hear from your old man. Yeah. So, man, that was definitely up there, up there with my dad. So, man, again, love you, Dad. Jason, we love you. And yeah, sorry about that. I swear, I was in my head. That was just the first thing that came to my head. Like, oh, dude, this meant so much to me. Right. I didn't think I was gonna cry one bit, and I actually started crying like pretty damn hard. Like, you guys are not gonna see that, but I started crying pretty damn hard there. That was crazy, man. It's an hour and 17 minutes in. I've ranted for long enough. I've been going on for long enough, and we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Just, dude, we're over 40,000 subscribers now, and I can honestly say, like, it's crazy. To me, even that's a dream, and we're not done yet. Thank you guys for believing in us. It means everything. It's fuel to the fire, and this one ain't dying anytime soon. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for listening, watching. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.